Well, welcome to this conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Misses. For those that haven't watched the last few, we have been talking goal setting since the start of 2025. And today, Jen Roach from BizConnect is going to be sharing some ideas, but also with us on the conversation is the usual suspects. And we have Lara Arden, who is our Business Awards coach, and Narelle Wright, who helps you with your digital accessibility. I am Janeen Vosper. My business is Speech Perfect. And goal setting. Now, this lady is a world record holder in powerlifting. So if anyone knows how to set goals, it is Jan Roche.
It is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
give us some tips, Jan.
Yeah. Okay, so seeing that it was only a few months ago that I did take the world records, I can talk with everybody about that because it's still a buzz, right? So
I think you can talk about that in 20 years' time. I would be so.
Yeah.
What have you done for your life, Jan? Well, I'm a world record holder.
Yeah.
I have to hold those for a long
time. Yeah,
that's right.
And it was good timing. Pat and I went away over the Christmas break. We took 2.5 weeks off, and then we came back last Monday, and then straight away into the working week. Didn't know what day it was all week, but beside that point, we went to our I have a couple of different business coaches, one for over 50s health, but also BizConnect. We work with Action Coach, Steve Wanler, and he is just brilliant. So anyway, we had this day, once a quarter, we had this growth club. And so they asked me to speak, to be one of the people that got up to speak about different things. And they were talking about goals as well. Being at the beginning of the year, it's the best time to set goals for the year. The great thing about the growth club that we set them every 90 days. But anyway, so the question was asked about by setting a goal, what was I able to achieve in 2024? And I thought, well, that was a super easy one because early in the year, I went down to Melbourne because I was reffing a competition. And whilst I was there, I thought, you know what? I've never competed at World Championships. So I just said to Robert Wilkes, who is the CEO of World Powerlifting, I said, Robert, I want to compete at Worlds. And so to do that, you have to set your goals. So I set the goal, which I knew October was the event. And to get to Worlds, I had to compete earlier in the year to qualify to compete at Worlds. So for me, that meant I had to compete in July at Nationals and then again in October at Worlds. So this was May that I said, or was it March? One of the months to start with M. Let's say when
We're talking about realistic goals too here, Jen.
That's the one. Yeah. And wow, yes, talk about that. So part of that was, okay, this is what I want to do. And I hadn't competed in a very long time. I hadn't competed in 4.5 years. So realistically, that shouldn't have been a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm stubborn, I'm determined, I'm focused, and well, we all know that I made that happen. So
can I just hold you there though? You hadn't competed in 4 years, but you still trained.
I was still training, yes.
That's a big difference, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, look, absolutely. So I wasn't starting from square one. Well, to a certain extent, I may have been because I picked up long COVID in a year and 3/4 ago. Took me a year to get over. So I was coming from a place that wasn't anywhere near being comp ready. So anyway, set that goal, and then I achieved multiple world records in a 6-month period from setting that goal. That is usually unheard of, but like you said, Janeen, I had already been training, and I've competed a few times at events, and so the more you compete, the better you get at competing. Right? So there's that. So I think about that, and it's almost like it's still surreal that I have multiple world records in the sport of powerlifting. And it wasn't until I was 55 that I took those records. I mean, that's just crazy, right? So
age is not a thing.
It's not a thing.
What was your mindset?
My mindset was I knew I could do it. I looked at what I would be up against and what I needed to do to achieve those world records. And that's what I set my goal on. So I looked at, you know, you can go online and you can see what the Australian records, the Oceania records and the world records were. And I got excited when I saw them because I thought, oh, I can do all of those, right? So that was the first thing. And so I just created that excitement within myself because I knew this was something that I wanted to do. And let's face it, the older we get, the less competition there is. But hey, I shouldn't say that because
I know. I always planned that when I got to 100, I would compete in a 100-meter race. This has been my mindset for a long time.
I love it. It's never too
that's
late.
an awesome goal. It really is
Yeah.
great because even though you know, there may not be as many competitors around you because of the age thing, we shouldn't allow that to take away from our actual achievement, because it doesn't just take, oh, you're the only person competing to actually achieve those goals, right? For me to achieve an actual weight, as in, you know, how heavy that thing is.
And you had to beat those weights that were the records.
That's right. Yeah. So I just think, you know, if I had a title for what I'm talking about, it would be From Vision to Victory, and goal setting, the goal setting process, right? So for me, I went, you know what? And it's like, I don't know if anyone's felt this before, but this is something that I have always felt. I played netball forever. And so I remember thinking, you know, I'd played all these years and I had a little bit of a break probably to have a child or something. And then I thought, oh, I so miss it. When you watch it, you're like, even if you're watching it on TV, it's like the juices are flowing. It's like, I'd love to be out there playing, right? So anyway, I guess that's just the competitor in me. So I think turning your dreams or goals into actionable results is what we need to look at. And so I think about why we set goals, and that is to have clarity as what it is, the direction you want to go in, and what it is that you want to achieve. Yeah. You have to think about, you know, the motivation, what fuels you, your persistence and your resilience and all of those things, because let's face it, in an ideal world and everything would be perfect, but that's not where or what we're living in. Your focus. So your focus eliminates the distractions and channels your energy. And also, side note on that is, when we do achieve something and we achieve success, that breeds success, right? So it's like that energy just helps you propel into doing more and achieving more. And that is, of course, if you allow yourself to think about what it is you know, looking at your milestones along the way, I think.
And I think that's part of a mental muscle memory as well. Yeah. Oh, that's easy. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, once, I can do it again.
Exactly and the excitement that I felt when I looked at those records and thought, oh, and my words were, they're mine, right?
Wow.
What I said, they're mine.
That's great.
And also tracking and measuring. So you've got to keep, you've got to measure, you've got to use an app, or you've got to have some kind of spreadsheet or something like that to keep track of your progress, so that you know how close you are getting. Are you, you know, you've set your long-term goal and you've got to break that down, obviously, into your bite-sized achievable pieces. But you've got to also celebrate, however that may look, you've got to celebrate those little milestones along the way. And I know that the term SMART, the acronym SMART, is used a lot, but I changed mine a little bit because, well, I mean, normally SMART stands for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for time bound. Whereas I go with S for specific, so we know what it is that we want to achieve. M for measurable still, because you still have to quantify your success. How is that looking? How's it going to look? A for me is accountable, right? So even though A normally would mean achievable, accountable is something that is very important, and I really think worldwide we should change that to
Yeah.
accountable, because
Yeah.
it's our goal, and
Yeah.
it's up to us. And sure, we may have we need our coaches and our support and all that kind of thing, our physios and all of that kind of stuff along the way when we're referring to sport. It's still us. We're accountable for our actions, whether we really focus on our nutrition and our training and getting enough rest and drinking enough water and all of that. That's up to us. We have to do that. No one can force us. We can't have an IV hooked up all the time, right? We've got to really be accountable for all of that. And R for me is reachable. So that kind of takes in the achievable bit. So it has to be something that we can reach. And me, straight off the bat, like I said, I've just looked at those numbers and said, they're boring. And of course, time being the time frame,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see Narelle now. For those that missed the first conversation that we had about goal setting, Narelle talked about not eating biscuits. So I think we all need to hold Narelle accountable and message us once a week. Go, here's my Bicky count for the week or something like that.
or if you're feeling tempted, Narelle, you can send it to me.
Send you the biscuit. Okay. So every week you guys are going to get a text.
There you
No
go.
biscuit.
No
I
biscuit.
might go down into hours. No biscuits from 8 until 9 in the morning. I did it.
Oh no, don't.
That's a
I don't
great
want
way
to
to do it.
I don't want you to hold you that accountable, but
Fast the Cookie Monster.
That's
Oh,
such an
yeah.
important aspect, though, Jan, is to
Yep.
be accountable and to be
Absolutely.
accountable yourself.
Yes.
I mean, you can have all the best coaches in the world, and I work much better when I have to be accountable to somebody, but it's me being accountable to somebody. It's not that they're having to. It's me going, oh, I don't want to let them down. Me going, make sure I've done this. The little competitive person inside comes out, and yeah.
And the thing is too, like powerlifting obviously is, when it comes to executing the lifts, you're the only person on the platform doing that, but you do have your team around you. So when you think about a team sport, sure, you're not the only one there, but if you're not performing your best, then you are a weak link in your team. And so you're still accountable for your actions. And I think that's something, another side note, that's something that is certainly missing with how we're raising our kids now. We're not having them be accountable and responsible, and if they do something wrong, there's no consequence for action. So, same with if I eat a packet of Vickies, I'm going to get a tummy ache, and I'm not going to lose my 500 grams that I want to lose for the week, that kind of thing. So there's all of that accountable, we have to pick up and say, that was me, or I did that fantastic, or I could have done that better. So when we're talking about goals, even SMART goals, instead of just saying I want to get fit, we should say, or could say something like, I will complete 3 30-minute strength sessions per week for the next 3 months. Right, so that's being really specific. It's measurable. It is, and you are being accountable because you're saying I will, and it is reachable, and you've got a time frame on it. So
and how I would reword it for me, I would say, if you're doing that in 3 months, so let's say pushing this out till May 30th, whatever, I would say it's now May 30th and I have completed 3 workout sessions over the last 3 months or something. So that's just how I write it, because I like to know I've got to that date and I've achieved it. Because for me personally, I saying I will, that's a good motivator, but for me, I need to, but however it is, it's towards what you want exactly.
So instead of the next 3 months, change it to a date. And I'm the same, like when I want to cut some fat so the scales come down a bit, I will say by this date, this is what I want my scale weight to be.
But it's even down to pub runs. It's like, for me, obviously I can't measure times and things like that. I do set a timer when I start, but that's the way I have to do it. But my support worker and I count lamp poles.
Mm.
And so last week we ran 2 lamp pole distances, and we walked, I think it was 5. So this coming week, we're going to run 3 lamp pole distances and 5. And and then every week we change it. So you're out there for 60 minutes, whatever, 50 minutes actually. But what we're saying is just setting an achievable goal at the start of whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter. For me, it's park run that day. It could be I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm going to walk right up through the park, and I'm going to not get sunburned. So what have you got to do? Plan what you've got to do. So whatever it is, set your goal for it, and then plan it. It doesn't have to be the most massive things. It's getting into that habit of setting a goal as well and making sure you meet the goal.
Perfect.
Mm.
Lara, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Oh, I just really love the switch out, Jan, from the achievable to accountable. Because I just think there's real power in involving others in what we're doing. When we can share with them, look, these are the goals. This is what I want to do. I want to go for a week of eating, or maybe, for example, for Narelle, it might be a week of transitioning from high sugar cookies to low sugar cookies. Just one thing at a time, one week at a time. And then the next week it might be, maybe one less packets of biscuits a week, or however you go. And I think having someone, that you can
You
share
don't
the
have a
goals and
reputation
account
as a
to.
cookie monster
Oh
then,
my
Narelle.
God.
It's a
Double dog.
it is a well-deserved one, trust me. Well deserved. Packet of
So
Oreos, not a problem.
Wow.
So
Oh,
when we
yeah.
do have someone to share the good news with, when we're celebrating and we're being accountable for our progress, that actually the psychologists have found in recent research is that what actually helps to reinforce our success and our habits in achieving a goal is celebrating the wins. And accountability gives us the opportunity to do that when, once a week or even every day if we need to, for something that's really challenging for us. If we've got someone that we can account ourselves to other than ourselves, it gives us that opportunity to celebrate the wins, because success breeds success when we celebrate the wins, even the small ones. It might just be one little thing, but have someone you can share it with, because that just reinforces and motivates us and gives us that drive to keep going. And even if things go a bit pear-shaped some days, still account for it's progress, right? Like you're moving towards your goals and where you want to be. So Jan, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Jan. I think that's a great way to wrap up. It's talking about it's all progress. When you're setting goals, it's just all progress moving forward. Share the wins, share the points of success with other people, because it reinforces it within yourself, and then celebrate those milestones. So wherever you're setting goals, it has been a great conversation for the last month, for the last 4 conversations all around goal setting, and we hope that we've brought some different ideas and maybe challenged you, or just open up to a different way of thinking, or motivated you to write down your goals. Because whatever you're doing, if you don't write them down, they're just a wish. They're a dream. You need to be written. That you will go ahead and do that, and then we'd love to hear from you by the end of the year, or whenever that goal is to be achieved, how well you've done. So let us know when you're watching this on YouTube and wherever you're seeing it, but do let us know the points that have resonated with you. Please go to YouTube, Morningtea Marketing Misses, and follow us. We would appreciate you doing that. And we look forward to you joining us for the next conversation. We've yet to decide what that topic will be. March is International Women's Day and the International Women's Month. Maybe we can talk about women's achievements or achievements.
Women's empowerment.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of topics around that. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you appraised. But join us on YouTube. And thank you for following and joining us.
Some ideas of what they want us to cover.
That'd be great too. Wherever you see this, whether it's on LinkedIn, social media, or on YouTube, pop in a note about different topics you'd love to. There's, you add up the year's experience on this panel, and there's a little bit there that might be able to have come up with something that's of benefit. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Bye.